Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Idea Gen Global Podcast with George Sifakis.
I'm George Sifakis. In a world overflowing with noise, there is one forum where the world's smartest voices connect, where visionaries sit at the same table as innovators, and great minds don't just talk, they act.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
With us today, Sunday morning, Lynn Shaw, Lynn's Warriors. Well, Lynn, what's going on for our kids this week? I understand a new executive order has been signed by the president on Thursday on marijuana. And what does that mean? I mean, nobody really understands it. It went from a stage 1 drug to a stage 3 drug. I don't know what it means.
Listen, John, so President Trump, executive order, actually the second one in the past 2 weeks that he has signed. First one, AI. Now we're getting into marijuana. He wants to ease the restrictions on the drug. What does this mean? We have heard for decades about marijuana should not be classified as this harmful drug, like LSD and heroin and cocaine. And so there has been discussion for years now. So fast forward. Now he signed the executive order. What it means, he's moving it from this Schedule 1, most dangerous drug, to Schedule 3, therefore aligning it with things like, Tylenol with codeine to make it less restrictive for the cannabis industries. His words, not mine. He wants to ease them from, financial burdens, tax exemptions, all these different things. He also wants more research done with cannabis. He also wants, with Dr. Oz, that are claiming that, not claiming, this is what they're saying, that they want to be able, for pain management, which we've all known, cancer patients, how it eases the pain and helps them and things like that, but also for vets and the elderly, how we can have, these cannabis-infused products, which will help them with life and longevity and all of that. But you know what, John? You know what we're missing in all of this discussion? We are missing what this means for children and families. And that's what I want to tell you about. Do you want to hear about it, John? Because it's not a pretty story.
I don't understand it. That's why you're here to let all Americans understand it.
Everybody must understand, listen up and listen good. The marijuana of past decades is gone. Today's products are more potent, more addictive, and aggressively marketed through these edibles, vapes, and packaging, specifically designed to appeal to our kids. John, when I say there was a war on for our children, I'm talking about on every front. I preach this every week. They are on purpose, this marijuana, or as I say, cannabis industry, marketing to kids. That's where the money is. That's where the future addiction, lifelong. They can get that money. And you know what? The psychosis rates among teens are rising faster than we can keep up with. I wish everybody would talk about it. Thank goodness we are right here on the Cats Roundtable. But schools and parents are dealing with consequences. It's not just the kids smoking a joint. Consequences medically long after all of this executive order stuff fades. And I'll tell you why. Kids today, we know there's a youth mental health problem. So they're turning to alternative methods of easing their pain. That can be online. They're turning to drugs. Drugs, by the way, John, that they are buying online. But the president wants to reduce these federal restrictions on the drug. But here's what's going to happen. More kids, it is so potent, are going to continue buying their drugs from strangers and online. Today's marijuana, John, has fentanyl in it. Parents contact me and say, please get it out into the media, out into the world, that the marijuana, always considered, a safer choice than other drugs. So kids think that's in their mind, right? Okay, we'll smoke marijuana. Well, the marijuana today has fentanyl. Fentanyl, the tip of a pencil. Think of a pencil, John, the little black tip, a little bit of that can kill that fentanyl. All of these chemicals are coming through China, okay, up through Mexico, the cartels. Now it's in the marijuana. So this executive order is not addressing anything like that. And kids, remember, their brains are still developing. And remember, long-term mental health damage, more burden on the healthcare system. But the edibles and vapes, because people think if you eat the gummy bears and stuff, that's easier. But there's no time release. So they'll eat a whole bag of gummy bears, right, and have this horrible reaction of vomiting and ending up in ERs and things like that. And there's a lot of vaping going on. And again, why is it not considered targeted exposure to children when these edibles and vapes are packaged in, hot pink, purple? It just looks like regular, potato chips and things like that, and cookies. Again, they're targeting kids. And schools are reporting back to this. Everything I'm saying to you, John, is based on, there's lots of studies, lots of facts, lots of doctors behind all of this. But teachers are reporting that the kids are impaired. They're coming to class. Obviously, there's something wrong with them falling asleep on their desks. They're high, something like that. So, again, now we're adding to our already burdened and failing education system. We are helping, teachers and administrators. This is just helping them more of that, more burdensome. So they are being overwhelmed by this substance-related behavior issues. And what I don't understand, John, we regulate alcohol, tobacco, because we say don't
So
drink
what
and
happens
drive.
now? A doctor can dispense with the marijuana, and you have to go to the pharmacy and get it?
You go to right now. There are many states that have these government sanctioned cannabis shops. There are a lot of illegal ones too. But there you go and you get it. You can get prescriptions. It's been happening for the last, I'd say, 5 years or so. Prescription for your anxiety, your nerves. It's medical marijuana, right? We've heard this for about 5 to 8 years maybe now. The problem is, while we can all agree it does have some health benefits for those suffering in pain, right?
Yes.
I do not like when I hear an executive order that will ease the burden on the cannabis industry. So, it'll make it easier for them. That may be well, good, and fine, John, but what about the flip side? What about dealing now? You're going to do that? You also equally have to deal with how will this affect children? How will this affect families? How will this affect our healthcare system?
Yeah.
People have to learn the difference between all of this. Yes, who's going to go? They are actually prescribing already. Psychologists and psychiatrists are prescribing it. Why don't you try a little marijuana to ease the pain? Again, we're talking about addiction.
Yeah.
But we're also talking about it will still be illegal to children. So the president pointed out, we're not legalizing marijuana, right? But he's not explaining fully what this actually means. And I'm comparing it to the Internet. We have the same situation. It's like the same thing. We don't describe the harms to kids and families.
Okay, we have 30 seconds left. What do we conclude?
What we want everybody to do is go to lynswarriors.org. Talk to your kids right now about don't give up your brain. THC is in the marijuana. It will affect your brain forever, your memory, your focus. And you know what? Don't trust the hype out there. Marijuana is not mild, is not good. Stay away from it, but talk to your kids.
Thank you so much, and keep fighting for our kids.
Thanks, John.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.